Puerto Rican lyrics were a little bit more social. So Me Como La Casa is about when the landlords were burning down the buildings here in the Bronx for insurance.
People gradually began moving towards the West Bronx. Going around the South Bronx, you could see, like, gradually the devastation and the abandonment, like, moving in that same direction. Somehow this devastation was following us. It wasn't going to shake us loose. It was trying to grab us, grab a hold of us. And there was this real fear. Are we going to be able to survive this?
If anyone were to ask me to characterize my teenage years, you know, the fear factor was running into a gang. And it didn't matter, because you could run into the Imperial Bachelors, you could run into the Golden Guineas.
The turbans, the dragons, the Latin kings, the drinkses.
You could run into the ministers, you could run into, you know, the spade.
Oh God, renegades.
Whoever it was, you were gonna have trouble if you weren't affiliated. Because they had things like Get Whitey Day. Now look at me. You know, I could stand there for hours and tell somebody I'm Puerto Rican, but in that kind of atmosphere, they're not gonna ask you if you're Puerto Rican, so they had Get Whitey Day for 2 years in a row. People running around smacking people because they were light colored, you know? That's the kind of bullshit that was happening up here.
If you went through the neighborhood, flying the color you're not supposed to fly in their territory without their permission, your jacket came off. There was no bargaining for it. Your jacket or your life. Or you go back, you know, some scars, you know, to let you know that, you know, you came through the place where you wasn't supposed to go through.
You have to have this deadpan look. When you have this deadpan look, no kid will dare to come up to you and talk anything to you. Because you got this stone cold killer's look. And, you know, I need to practice it. Before, you know, after, you know, it was no more practice after that. It became just me. I grew up in my block was gang infested. Everybody was in a gang. You saw everybody wearing these vests and everything. So my cousin was rolling with the Savage Skulls. One day he told me they're looking to open up a little squad. And I'm like, a squad of what? He said, yeah, you know, gang. You want to be a gang member? I was like, gang member? Ain't that too small? And he was like, nah, they're going to open a squad where the baby skulls is going to be the ones that carry the weapons. That way the older guys won't get in trouble. The first division of baby skulls were from 8 to 9 years old. I had to go through this Russian roulette. And I'm like, what? And I thought it was fake because nothing happened to me, you know? But then when it continued on, after I joined up, they did it again to someone dropped right there. So it was like, it gotta be real. Because, you know, you're not there all the time seeing someone die, you know? So, you know, when it happened, it happened.
By the early 1970s, gang leaders grew weary of the endless cycle of violence and madness on the streets. In 1973, they organized a citywide peace meeting held at the Boys Club on Hoe Avenue in the Bronx.
You was up in the meeting and you told me, Benji, I want to get out alive. Didn't you tell me that? Benji, I want to get out alive. That's just what's going to happen. You're going to get out alive. Benji didn't get out alive. Benji died. They took away my brother's life, man. The thing is, we're not a gang anymore. We're an organization. We want to help black and Puerto Ricans to live in a better environment. You see, I said down with colors now. Now let's turn it something, man. Let's help our people, man. But they're taking away my brother's lives, taking advantage. Now that we're an organization, you're not no Hell's Angel, man. You're black and Puerto Rican. You're black and Puerto Rican, brother. Get that to your head, man.
Everybody started getting these flyers for a party that was being done at Bronx River. It was like, come one, come all, leave your colors at home, you know? Certain things on that flyer, man. I tell my cousin, come on, let's go. He was like, no, that's a setup. You know, because they heard about that before. Like some clubs, like you go to the like social clubs or something, they go, oh, come, a nice little family party. You go there, it's a setup. 7 Immortals, you know, or the Latin brothers, or somebody set you up to go to a party and jump you in there. They close the doors on you and they cut you up, and you got a big, that's been happening a lot too. So my cousin, I said, yo, man, I don't know, this sounds like something good. So we went to the door, and I was just amazed that when we came in, all you heard was music, right? But next thing you know, you see some people dancing, you know, because they probably already used to it. Dancing some funk dance or whatever. The girls and everybody, you're like looking at them like, yeah, yeah. And then this guy gets up, and there's the guy, bam. And I look at him, I'm like, oh, that's that motherfucker. He said he's a Black Spade. I said, yo, it's a setup, you know? So we started going closer to the door. Dan Barber's up there. He said, excuse me, yeah. His voice sounded real soft, you know, like, it sounded harsh. He's like, excuse me, can everyone be quiet for a minute? And the music go on, he was like, I'm trying to do this because I feel like all we're doing is killing each other. He said things like, now he realized why they always left the gangs alone. Even though gangs members got arrested here and there, but he always wanted to know why the gangs were never really fully squashed. He wanted to know why the gangs were continuously on through the 50s on to the 70s. Why? And he said, you know why? Because they don't give two shits about us. He said, they don't care about us, and they want us to end each other.
I try to look at something that will bring all different nationalities and races together. I see that music crosses all barrier. I started using music to break down barriers between black, brown, yellow, red, and white people.
Mr. Bronx in the house!
See, Bam kept it in the parks. Bam kept staying in the park and kept doing his thing in the parks, in the schoolyards, where anyone could go in there, you know? 11-year-old kid could walk in there. A kid and his mother could go in there. The jams in the park are the best I ever had in my life.
Black and Latino teenagers, like the salsa musicians before them, held parties and jams in schools, basements, parks, and playgrounds. Bronx kids helped create the 4 elements of hip-hop: graffiti, breakdancing, MCing, and DJing. Each form has its legendary figures: DJ Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Bombada, Tacky 183, Crazy Legs, and of course, Grand Wizard Theodore.
This is the man that did the scratching for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is the man that had his music so loud in his room. How many times people, the mother come in the room like, baja esa música? The same thing, right? He was in his room, and his mother came in, and he went to stop it, and it scratched, right? Was that...